Good Thursday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to tonight's top stories, let's take a look outside our beautiful weather window as we head now into the middle of July. And boy, it felt like it out there today. Just clear skies. I love the blue sky days when there's hardly a cloud in the sky, and that's the kind of day we had today. Beautiful shot looking down at the Wenatchee Valley from our cross camera up on Wenatchee Heights. And as we make our way through the rest of the week, not going to be a whole lot of changes in our forecast, except maybe for Sunday, where we could see some windy conditions. A weak disturbance will move through, kicking our temperatures down a little bit too. But boy, by the time we get into the middle of next week, Wednesday, sunny with a high temperature of 97. And I'll have your complete weather forecast coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the news stories we're following for you tonight. Authorities have identified the woman killed in a drowning incident Tuesday on the Wenatchee River near Leavenworth. Police continue to investigate a drive-by shooting last weekend in Wenatchee in which numerous shots hit a home, but nobody was injured. And a Renton man who pleaded guilty to molesting a child during a visit to Entiat was sentenced Wednesday to a year and 1 day in prison. But first, our top story tonight. Firefighters responded to a pair of suspicious brush fires this morning, one near downtown Wenatchee and the other near Fred Meyer in East Wenatchee. At 7:06 a.m., a witness reported seeing a man setting a fire in the alley at 421 South Mission Street in Wenatchee. Kay McKellar of Chelan County Fire District 1 said the fire burned an area about 20 by 20 feet and briefly threatened vehicles in the Dogwise parking lot before being knocked down by firefighters. She said police are speaking with the witness. About a half hour earlier, firefighters responded to a brush fire near the George Seller Bridge ramp that was burning toward the Fred Meyer gas pumps. McKellar said that fire burned an area about 50 by 50 feet of sagebrush and grass. There was a report of a man on a bicycle near where the fire started, but investigators were unable to locate the man, she said. The two fires are not believed to be connected. And just before 10:30 last night, firefighters responded to a brush fire on 4th Street Northeast near Eastmont Community Church in East Wenatchee. McKellar said there were reports of booms prior to the fire, but fire officials have been unable to determine if it was started by fireworks. It burned an area of about 10 feet by 10 feet. Well, authorities have identified the woman killed in a drowning incident Tuesday on the Wenatchee River near Leavenworth. 46-year-old Elva Jean Flores Duanes of Tacoma died during an inner tube float trip after she missed her scheduled takeout point at Barn Beach and drifted into fast-running water. Bystanders were able to pull her to shore, but resuscitation efforts failed to revive her. Rescuers say Flores Duanes was not wearing a life jacket. River levels remain higher than normal and the water is unseasonably cold. Recreationists on local rivers are warned to be aware of conditions and always wear a personal flotation device. Police continue to investigate a drive-by shooting last weekend in Wenatchee in which numerous shots hit a home but nobody was injured. The shooting happened just before 10 p.m. on Saturday in the 600 block of Kittitas Street. Wenatchee Police Department Captain Brian Chant said police recovered several shell casings in the area. He said Wednesday that no arrests have been made and the shooting remains under investigation. Meanwhile, a Renton man who pleaded guilty to molesting a child during a visit to Entiat was sentenced Wednesday to a year and 1 day in prison. 55-year-old Mark Darren Starman pleaded guilty in May to 1 count of third-degree child molestation, just as he was about to begin trial on a more serious first-degree charge. Starman admitted to having sexual contact with a 13-year-old girl during a visit to Lake Entiat in 2007 when he was 40 years old. The year-and-a-day sentence imposed by Judge Travis Brandt is considered an exceptional high sentence for the crime. The standard confinement for a defendant such as Starman, who has no prior convictions, is 6 to 12 months. He must also serve 3 years on probation and register as a sex offender. Well, when we come back, Confluence Health says there's no truth to a social media post that claims a baby was abducted from Central Washington Hospital. State Fish and Wildlife officials say 3 people face charges for allegedly spearfishing for bass along the Lake Chelan shoreline recently. Just in time for the summer's first extended heat wave, the splash pad at Wenatchee's Rotary Park has been shut down for repairs. And the state Supreme Court will revisit Douglas County judge's decision to strike down Washington's new capital gains tax. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Let Mary Maid's custom cleaning experts help you clean up your to-do list. Between work, kids, and pets, it's hard to find time to keep up. Let Mary Maids of Wenatchee help. Mary Maid's cleaning experts can help keep your home or business fresh, neat, and exactly how you'd clean it, if you only had the time. Call now for a free estimate, 509-663-1710. Serving Chelan and Douglas counties. Mary Maids, let us help.
Raising a family may have seemed overwhelming to your parents, but they weren't. Coach, teacher, life guide, caregiver. Family takes care of family. And as the circle of life continues, you now are their caregiver. It may seem overwhelming, but we're here to help you find the support services necessary so you can provide quality care to your elders.
Call Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington at 1-800-572-4459.
Welcome back. In another news, Confluence Health says there's no truth to a social media post that claims a baby was abducted from Central Washington Hospital. The post on Wenatchee Buy-Sell Trade Facebook page claims a woman impersonated a nurse and abducted a 2-day-old boy from a Wenatchee hospital. It includes a photo of the alleged kidnapper with a baby. Media reports indicate the same hoax with the same image also showed up on social media yesterday in Alabama and Texas and even as far away as England. Confluence said they have contacted Facebook about the hoax. State Fish and Wildlife officials say 3 people face charges for allegedly spearfishing for bass along the Lake Chelan shoreline recently. In Washington, it's illegal to fish for a game fish with a bow and arrow, spear, or spearfishing gear unless authorized by special rules. The Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife said one of its officers saw 2 people snorkeling along a rocky shoreline that's a popular place for fish to fish for bass. A third person was fishing from the shoreline who the wildlife officer said watched pull a stringer from the water that had 3 smallmouth bass on it that, quote, had clear wounds from a spear gun, unquote. The officer said when he confronted the 3 people, they denied having any fish, and he then witnessed one of the snorkelers stash the spear gun in the water as he swam to shore. The 3 have been referred for charges of avoiding a field inspection and unlawful fishing. Just in time for the summer's first extended heat wave, the splash pad at Wenatchee's Rotary Park has been shut down for repairs. The city of Wenatchee says replacement parts are needed, so when it will reopen is still not clear. The city suggested using the park waiting program at Pennsylvania, Kiwanis, Methow, and Washington parks in the meantime. Those programs are open 1 to 5 p.m. Monday through Fridays. The state Supreme Court will revisit a Douglas County judge's decision to strike down Washington's new capital gains tax. Judge Brian Huber ruled in March that the tax on stock sales greater than $250,000 was unconstitutional under state law. The Attorney General's office asked the Supreme Court to review the decision, and the court agreed on that yesterday. That means the case will skip the State Court of Appeals and go directly to the High Court. Opponents say the tax on asset sales amounts to an income tax, which has previously been held unconstitutional in Washington. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa has hot tubs in stock now. Spas are scientifically proven to improve sleep and ease arthritis pain. Let us help you find the perfect spa today. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa is helping families reconnect, one hot tub at a time.
Traditional values and innovation in honoring the life of each family we serve is part of the ministry of Heritage Memorial Chapel. Our staff is committed to walk with your family with compassion through this time of grief. We are here to help and here to serve, the right kind of help when you need it most. Heritage Memorial Chapel.
Connect with us on Networked as we introduce you to the people and organizations who are leading innovation in the region. Get inspired, engaged, and networked right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
For all the latest news in North Central Washington, go to ncwlife.com or find us on Facebook. Got a news tip? Email us at news@ncwlife.com or call 888-2020.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Time now for our weekly Pause for Pets feature from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. Tonight we meet a very sweet cat named Mother Gothel.
Hi everyone, my name is Haley and I'm with the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and with me this week is Mother Gothel. Mother Gothel came to us as a mama cat with some of her kittens, and her kittens have all been adopted, and she is left. She is extremely sweet. She loves hanging out in people's laps. She explores every place that she goes and rubs on it and makes it her own space. She's a very sweet, confident cat, and we estimate that she would be good with other cats. You, of course, would want to do a slow introduction if you wanted to add her to your existing bunch. Here at the shelter, she's pretty sweet and quiet. She does talk a lot when she wants attention or food. Food is one of her great motivators, but she also thrives off of attention. If you are interested in meeting and adopting Mother Gothel, come on down to the shelter. We are open 6 days a week. We are closed Wednesdays, but we are open from 11 to 6 and closed 1:30 to 2:30 for quiet time.
Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org.
Let's take a look now at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had the chance to get outside today. It was really a nice one. Just enough breeze out there to kind of cool us off. It was hot, but how about Lake Chelan for a destination today? What a beautiful place that would have been. And boy, it was busy this afternoon. Lots of boaters out on Lake Chelan with all those clear skies. That allowed us to get pretty warm today. 90 degrees unofficially at Pangbourne Airport. Just a couple of degrees above where where we should be for this time of year at 88. 103, that's our record high set back in 1996. This morning, 63, pretty much in the ballpark of 62 where we should be for our low temperature this time of year. And our record cold, 50 degrees set back in 1969. Sunrise 5:19 this morning, and sunset is at 8:58. All right, here we go into our upcoming weekend. Friday temperatures not going to be a whole lot different today, just a little bit warmer. 93 for Moses Lake, Ephrata, and Quincy. Back to the west, Wenatchee, Ellensburg, 91. Also Entiat at 91. Pretty much up the Highway 97 corridor to Omak. 92 degrees up that way, and 89 tomorrow for a high temperature in Leavenworth. As we take a look at tonight, we can expect clear skies, still a ridge of high pressure up and over the Pacific Northwest. Boy, and it's been blocking this low for about the past 4 or 5 days. Going to make for a mild overnight once again tonight into the low 60s. For Friday, sunshine. We talked about it. Warm temperatures. Temperatures generally around that 90-degree mark for most of us in north central Washington to end our week. Kicking off our weekend on Saturday. Boy, it looks beautiful, sunny. We'll call it seasonal with highs near 90 degrees. Keep in mind 88 is our normal high. Nice and warm all over the west and central U.S. On Sunday, that's where things change just briefly. A weak area of low pressure will move through. That's going to kick up the winds on Sunday and cool us down slightly with high temperatures on Sunday in the upper 80s. And look at our situation on Monday. Here we are, and look at the size of this high pressure out in the Pacific. That's going to keep us clear, and that will be in control of our weather probably right through the end of July, and that's going to make for a nice Monday with high temperatures in the low 90s. And then we are going to warm up from there. Sunshine on Tuesday with highs in the mid 90s. And as we get you into the end of our forecast on Wednesday, get ready for the heat. Clear skies all across Washington state and hot with high temperatures Wednesday in the mid to upper 90s. We might even see 100 on Wednesday. Let's take a look now at your 7-day forecast. 62s are overnight lows the next couple of nights. Our temperature is pretty consistent too. 91 your high on Friday, 90 on Saturday. If there's any dip in our forecast at all, it's on Sunday. We'll see some windy conditions. We're going to stay mostly sunny and just cool off slightly. High temperature on Sunday of 88 degrees. On Monday, sunshine and 91, and we're going to stay sunny and just get hot by the first and middle part of next week. Tuesday, 94, and Wednesday, all the way up to 97 degrees. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
The best pizza in the known universe is right here in downtown Chelan, so come on up. For the best locally crafted beer and barbecue in Chelan, come on up.
For the best down-home scratch country cooking in north central Washington, you'll find it in Manson. Come on up.
Come on up. Come on up.
Come on up.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, they believe your investment success begins with a personalized plan. A plan that is the roadmap you need to navigate your way to living your best years in retirement. D.A. Davidson can help you create a plan so you can take the time to enjoy the finer things in life. Let the financial advisors at D.A. Davidson help chart your retirement future today.
It has really been a great partnership between Succession and NCWLIFE. It's not always easy to sit in front of a camera or a microphone, but you guys have made it a really nice process.
It's a little scary at first, right? You're just throwing money out there hoping it comes back. And to see those results come back through and see people walk through the door and say, hey, saw your TV advertisement. Those are the kinds of things that you see the return on. And when you look at the cost spent, you know you're making a return on it. NCWLIFE really does a great job of exposing our brand and Succession wines to north central Washington. There's a huge market here and market potential that NCWLIFE is able to help us capture spread who we are and tell the world about what Succession does, and they are a great avenue for that.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Thursday to you. The Seattle Mariners have won 10 straight games for the first time in 20 years. Seattle won the first end of a doubleheader against the Nationals in Washington yesterday, 6-4. Then in the nightcap, Eric Swanson and former Apple Sox pitcher Tommy Malone held the Nationals in check, with Jesse Winker contributing once again at the plate.
Winker, line drive, deep right field, bye-bye! Jesse Winker gives the Mariners a 1-0 lead. It's their 5th home run today. For Wink, his 8th of the season, RBI number 35. You can hear all the Mariner fans here in D.C. His 2nd home run today.
So that's 2 games in a row now for Winker, coming off that suspension, and this is a pitch that's down in his wheelhouse. Looked like something off speed and almost the same spot as he hit it this morning, or in the day game, right there in that right center field area, and really gave it a ride.
Cishek with the Mariners back in the 17th season. That will get it plenty done. Robles, a long run. He gets it. JP scores. And Manny having Santana hold at third. Well done by Adam Frazier to pick up that run with the sac fly. 2-0 Mariners.
Watch Soto. An absolute moonshot to right. That ball was demolished. His 4th home run in 5 games. And I'm shocked that thing finally came down.
See what he goes with. 3-2. Backdoor, got him! And the Mariners win it 2-1. It's their 8th win by that count this season. It's their 10th consecutive win. 7 consecutive series wins. They're 5 games, Dan Wilson, 5 games beyond 500. How about that?
Outstanding ball game, outstanding job by Paul Sewald as they get the celebrations in. The dancing out there in the infield.
And the outfielders have their little ritual, so the infielders said, hey, we want a piece of that.
We got to figure out a name for that dance they do. Hokey pokey? I'm not quite sure. Mariners are in Texas to face the Rangers today. That game underway on Root Sports Northwest. Speaking of Texas, they're coming into today's game off a 5-2 win over Oakland last night. Former Mariner Brad Miller hit a 2-run single and a 5-run first inning to give the Rangers the win. In Anaheim, how about Shohei Ohtani? Had 2-run triple at the plate and then struck out 12 over 6 innings on the mound to lead the Halos past Houston 7-1. Ohtani improved his record to 9-4 and lowered his ERA to 2.38. Well, break out the tartar sauce. The Apple Sox swept the Fish Sticks last night with a 20-6 victory. Wenatchee brought 16 men to the plate in a 12-run second inning, as we hear more from the voice of the Apple Sox, Joel Norman.
The Apple Sox picked up a 20-6 victory on Wednesday night to sweep the 2-game non-league set against the Dub C Fish Sticks at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. It all got started on Tuesday night with the Apple Sox winning Game 1 of the brief 2-game set with a 22-2 victory, and then they continued the offense pretty early on and often in Wednesday's game. Wenatchee scored 12 runs in the second inning. It all got started with Enzo Apodaca blasting a solo shot for his first home run of any type, league or non-league this season. And then later on in the ball game, Grant Sherrod would hit a 2-run homer to score 2 of the 3 runs in the 7th inning. Sherrod has now blasted 3 home runs this season, 2 of them in 3 non-league games. The Apple Sox are off on Thursday, but back in action with a gigantic series on Friday night. They will host the Corvallis Knights at 6:35 p.m. It's the first ever game for Ed Nags, the former head coach of the Apple Sox, as a visitor at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. He's the associate head coach with the Knights, and it's a huge series for the Apple Sox. With the Kamloops Northpaws losing on Wednesday night, they've lost 5 in a row, and Wenatchee is a half a game back of second place in the West Coast League's North Division in terms of overall record. As far as the standings for the second half, the Apple Sox are in a really good spot in a playoff position right now, but looking to add to it and potentially have home field advantage in the first round. Lots to determine still this season, but a crucial weekend coming up for the Apple Sox. With your Apple Sox update, I'm Joel Norman.
Thank you much, Joel. Joichiro Oyama also contributed 6 ribbies in last night's game, just a home run away from the cycle. Wenatchee gets that much-deserved day off today before hosting Corvallis in the first of 3 tomorrow. We'll have that live here on the NCW Life channel starting at 6:30. Other West Coast League play last night. Ridgefield beat Bellingham 12-3. Victoria scored 2 on wild pitches at the top of the 12th and beat Nanaimo 6-4. Port Angeles topped Kelowna 6-1. Walla Walla beat Bend 9-2. Portland upended Springfield 7-6. Yakima Valley down Kamloops 7-3. Edmonton shut down Corvallis 3-1, and Cowlitz got by the Northwest Star Academy 5-2. Well, the Wenatchee Wild season will be here before you know it. It'll be the regular season starting in September. Wild coach Chris Clark says the preseason will have Wenatchee playing 2 games at home before hitting the road in the Midwest.
Our schedule's been released. Our preseason schedule's been released. We'll have 2 home games here the first weekend of September, and then we're going on a 7-day road trip to the Midwest where we're going to play some USHL teams, and it'll be a great opportunity for us not only to play Trail, who's a great team, but those 3 USHL teams, and spend a bunch of time on the road together and become a tight-knit group.
Wild forward Cade Littler was recently drafted by the Calgary Flames in the 7th round of the NHL draft. Coach Clark says he wasn't surprised at all.
Anybody that knows Cade knows how hard Cade has worked. I've gotten to see it firsthand for the last 10 years. When he was a young kid on the ice at 9 in the morning, no pucks on the ice, no nets, just him by himself working on his skating. His dedication to the sport is second to none. So to see him get rewarded and get drafted, I think the whole organization is very proud of Cade and happy for Cade, and that's a huge accomplishment for him.
Littler has spent the last week at the Flames development camp. Clarkey says Wild fans don't need to worry, though. He'll be back for this season.
Yeah, so he'll be here next year. And then obviously, when you get to junior hockey, everything's a year by year, right? You play your year out. When that year is over, you see what's next. Obviously now with Cade, he's going to have Minnesota State Mankato. He's going to have the Calgary Flames to kind of help him in that guidance process to what's next. But basically, Calgary will own his rights until he's, I think it's July 1st of his junior year of college. So basically just extends Cade's runway a little bit, and he's looking at the next 4 to 5 years, hopefully becoming a pro, getting to college first, seeing what happens at the college level, and then like I said, until he's a junior, the Calgary Flames have his rights, and it's a great accomplishment, and it's nice to know that you're wanted.
By the way, the Wild are looking for additional billet families. You can find out more about that with our story on our website, ncwlife.com. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric. And now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. On tomorrow's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, we're talking Apple Sox baseball. Critical weekend series coming up against the Knights. Mitch Darlington, what's on the agenda tomorrow?
Yeah, I got a huge home series versus the Corvallis Knights this weekend. Trying to get back above 500 and stay in a playoff race as we finish the home stretch here with Wenatchee.
And the Apple Sox have one of the best players in the league right here. You're going to meet Joe tomorrow as well. That's on tomorrow's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Dan. And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for being with us, and have a great night. News, weather, and sports. It's all here weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on your local news source, the NCW Life channel.
With TV advertising, what we want to do is more deeply connect with the community.
People spot me in different parts around North Central, Costco and Wenatchee, say, hey, you're the pizza guy. And so they wouldn't know that if it weren't for the TV commercials we've done.
We've been here so long that people already know who we are and what we do, but to have that image flash on their television screen as opposed to just hearing it in the radio or seeing it in the newspaper, I just love the fact that we can actually put our finger on when a customer comes in and says, I saw your ad.
It's becoming increasingly difficult in this digital age to know where are your customers listening or watching, because I watch all the different channels that they watch too, like Cooking Channel, History Channel, and so it was wonderful to be able to be on there.
I would say that if you want to do business in Wenatchee, then you should connect with the people of Wenatchee, and there's no better way to do that than with NCWLIFE.